Sam Fricker, look, I've never had an Olympian on this show. And what I love about it, Sam, is I get to meet people I'd never meet. And I was just talking off camera, 19 years of age, representing Australia in the Olympics, 2022 in Birmingham for the Commonwealth Games. You know, what I want to go through and what I love about doing podcasts, Sam, and what our viewers, I want them to take away is, at what point did you get your mind set to go, hey, this is what I'm going to do? And what were the frameworks? And, one thing I know in business and in life, and I've been in the game for the business for 27 years, I have to build new frameworks every time I grow, and I have to keep developing myself. So, mate, take us back to the start, because to represent Australia at 19, bro, that's unbelievable in itself.
Thank you. And I find it surprising I'm your first Olympian, because walking around this gym looks like an Olympic training venue. It's amazing. So well done, everything you've built here.
Nah, thanks.
When I was a kid, I was just quite naughty when I was young, because I had ADHD, I was dyslexic, I struggled in school massively. Yeah. I just didn't really fit in, and I found it so hard to concentrate. And I got in a lot of trouble because I just got bored. And when you get bored, I feel like a lot of people, everyone experiences this. When you get bored, you tend to start doing the wrong thing. And that's why being busy for me all the time is really important, because it keeps me on the straight and narrow. But when I was young, I just got in so much trouble for doing silly things I probably shouldn't. And I found diving. And I really wanted to go to the Olympics. That was just, I thought if I can achieve that, that would mean success for me. And I had the opportunity to try out for the High Performance Institute. I went in on a public open testing day that anyone could show up to. Anyone had the chance to come in, show their skills, and try out for the Institute. I went to one of those days and I got in. And then I had this overwhelming sense of responsibility that I have a chance to turn my life around and I cannot fuck this up. I thought I got to give it everything. And I was really far behind too. I wasn't very talented. People used to laugh at my technique, like literally laugh at my diving technique, which is fine. It was probably funny. It was probably that bad. Yeah. But I wasn't very talented. I just had a big dream. Yeah. And I was really far behind all the other athletes. So a lot of kids come in high performance at, 8, 9, 10 years old. I come in at 13, which is quite late compared to most others. So I just had this sense of responsibility. I've got to make it work. And I just, deep down, I just knew that I could make it. I just knew I could make it.
That's phenomenal. So you decided at 13, because I'm thinking to myself, you would have had some sort of background. Did you have a background before the 13 years of age? Were you like a gymnast? Like, what were you doing before that?
My parents had us in a lot of sport. So I got 4 siblings, so very competitive growing up. And my mum would make us do gymnastics and trampolining, and dad would make me do a whole bunch of martial arts. Wow. I remember he'd then make me come home and keep training on the punching bag. And dad's really into his martial arts. So he made sure I learnt my discipline. And when I didn't want to go, he told me that's what discipline is, and made sure I went and trained hard. So they always instilled in me hard work. And although I wasn't very good at school and I struggled at school, they never held that against me. But they did hold against me this never give up, persistency. And dad always said sport was a good philosophy for life. Sometimes it's unfair, but it's still good.
Wow. So four different sports, and you kind of figured out, I want to be a diver at 13. Like, you want to be at the Olympics. I mean, there's so many different sports. Why diving?
The reason I chose diving is because at the time there was a girl I liked that was doing it.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's a good motivation. Honestly, it goes a long way.
They control our lives.
It goes a long way.
I've got 3 girls at home plus a dog, so it's 4.
I'll tell you what.
I'm gone.
There couldn't be a better motivation. So I was doing gymnastics and trampolining and soccer and martial arts, and then there was a guy I liked that was diving. So I went to diving. I actually hated it. It was cold. Yeah, it was outdoors. It was in Newcastle. It was windy. I was a kid. I thought, this sucks. But she's there, so I'll go. Yeah. And eventually I made like some national event. It's called school nationals. It's like the lowest level nationals, but I thought, fuck, I'm pretty good at this. Yeah. And then because my dream was to go to the Olympics, I think it kind of flicked in my mind, hey, I could do this in diving. And at the time I sucked. Like that was when people were laughing at my diving technique. Like literally laughing.
Because you got kids starting at 8 and
yes.
you're 13. So
yeah, so I wasn't.
So you're like 5 years behind.
I would have been, years and years behind. And I was quite all over the shop, Yeah. So dodgy technique, didn't have a lot of concentration, but I had a dream. Yeah. And that can pull you through anything.
Far out, man. I'm just trying to conceptualize that idea, because it wasn't just a normal dream. It's a dream to the top, right? Like you're going to the pinnacle. You're, how many divers did they choose from Australia?
They picked 2 for my event. And there was only, the Olympics I went to, only 3 male divers went.
From Australia. So you've gone to like the top 3. Like it's like that's 0.1%.
And I'm a 3-time Australian champion now as well.
Wow. So how, like, I was a naughty kid too. I was a bad kid.
I feel like you get out when you're young, you know?
Like I should have been kicked out many times.
Sometimes I'm just glad I didn't do anything too stupid.
But you know what's funny? Because if you can channel your energies in the right area, rather than and I try and tell everyone this: if you've got that thing in you that isn't meant for school, don't let that dictate where you're going to go.
Did you feel in school too that you just don't belong? I remember being in school and thinking, "Oh, I'm going to really struggle at life because I suck at this."
Funny story, like when I was, I think it was year 10 or 11. The headmaster of sort of like, it wasn't not education, I forget which one it was, but it was like, what are you guys going to do when you finish school? And there was 3 of us and we're all bad kids. One guy's, I'm going to work at the fish shop. He goes, what fish shop? Because my dad's fish shop. I'm sorted. And the other one said, I want to be a builder. He goes, what are you going to do? I go, I have fucking no idea. I like training, so I was just training. He goes, what are you going to make money from training? But I, like you're probably similar to me. I was always searching for that thing. Like there was something that I wasn't comfortable with in myself. And I call it like, if I've got this itch, I've got to find out what it is, and I've got to find out how I'm going to get there and what I've got to do. You don't have to find out the way 100%, but you have to be able to put in the work. You've got to put in the effort. You've got to show up. Even though you don't know how to do the work, you got to show up every day. And what I was able to do, and I think you've done it extremely well, was like, if I'm going to go, I'm going to show up, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to suck, and I'm going to, suck it up when I suck. And there's going to be days I'm going to hate it, but I'm going to do this.
That's training day in, day. And you'd know from coming to the gym day in and day out, the consistency. You wake up. I know most days I wake up, I'm just so tired from the night before. I don't really want to get out of bed, but it's not choice.
Yeah.
You have to get up, you go, you do your job and you get it done. And you go train again in the afternoon. But that feeling as a kid too, being kind of lost, but just knowing that you can do better, you can do more.
Yeah.
I feel like I had that feeling.
Yeah, I think heaps of kids have it, and I think the system doesn't allow the kids to venture out, and it puts them like in a square here where they can't be. And I think that's where the education system will fail more people, because I think there's less people that sort of think and feel like us. And when they get put into this category, they start to believe what they're categorized as. And I think that's a huge problem. Now, diving's not easy. It looks great, because I've seen how you go into the water. You do it perfectly.
Thank you.
And we're just talking off camera, like when you jump, I mean, you cop it around, the midsection, the balls, and
gotta have tight speedos. But it's important.
Brad, like, how many times have you gone in and hit yourself in there, where you're like,
I've had some terrible
tough
wipeouts
down there and here, like do you get concussed?
Yeah. Diving injuries are severe. Like I had this back injury that I dealt with for 8 months. I had 3 bulging discs in my back, L4, L5, S1, pushing on that nerve, like this shooting sharp pain down my leg. I couldn't even sit in the car without it hurting. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't even like lay down and sit up without having this like sharp pain down my leg. And that's an injury I got in November. And for the last, 8 months, I've just been dealing with that and trying to do rehab, getting injections, like spinal injections of cortisone. So diving can be quite a high impact sport, not just in the water. That was something I did in dryland when we're doing flips into a foam pit, funny enough.
Yeah, wow.
But those are the injuries that you just have to find ways to get through. And that takes a mental toll, because I had the doctors telling me that maybe you'll never dive again.
Wow.
The experts looked at the scans and they said that pain may never go away. We don't know.
What goes through your mind at that point? Do you go, I'm going to prove these doctors wrong? Because like for me, at every point when someone said, you can't do this or you can't do that, I kind of walk away and I go, I'm not going to listen to that.
I follow my intuition. Like I hear the experts say things like, we don't know if the pain will ever go away. And my intuition says you'll be okay, but look after yourself.
Yeah.
Don't be stupid. Don't push it if you don't think you can push it yet. Look after yourself. It will be okay. And at the same time, it makes me think, I'm so glad that when I was healthy, I just took every opportunity with two hands and didn't let go.
Yeah.
Like, take the opportunity now, because you can never know what can happen.
100%. And you can't get ahead of yourself. Like, one thing I do, and I'm sure you do as well, I don't get comfortable when things are going well.
Neither do I. Never satisfied.
Because if I do, I'm almost believing, the bullshit in my head of you've made it, and you get complacent. Does that happen to you? Or do you just like go, hey, shut up?
Yeah, to
this other voice, because there's this other voice in your head.
What you're saying is spot on. Like, you sometimes have these thoughts of, I've made the Olympics now, or my business is going really good. Things are good, but I feel like I'm happy but never satisfied.
Yeah.
You can never be satisfied because life gets boring. And then you're right, you fall behind. I think momentum is the most important thing. It's easier to get up and train tomorrow knowing I've done it for the last 3 years than if I'd never trained before. Yeah. It's easier to get up today and make sure I post 10 videos on my social media platforms because I've done it every day before. So I think the momentum I'm super vigilant of, because I know how tough it is when I see an athlete take 6 or 8 months off and they put on a lot of weight, and then it's very difficult for them to come back. So I just see momentum as just like gold. It's crucially important for everything. And I'm just never satisfied. Yeah. And I don't know whether it's
I love it.
That tough thing as a kid where I just struggled so much I felt like I'd never make it. Man. Like, it comes back to me and just says, no, you never know when it can be taken. So just go. Because it could all, at least in my mind, I think, it could all go tomorrow. So take everything you can today. Do everything you can today. You know
what's the best thing that you're talking right now? It's you've got that underdog mentality, and like in life when you have that underdog mentality, that you're never going to get the support from everyone because you weren't the best, and you got to fight so much harder than everyone else, and that's why I got asked a question on the weekend. I was in Melbourne and he goes, Mets, do you switch off? And my mate was there. He goes, mate, he hasn't switched off for 27 years. You know what I mean? And he goes, but how do you do that? I go, it's a system that you build. I go, you're just building blocks of who you're going to become. And I go, what most people tend to do, and I was a victim of it as well. In my early 20s, I was like, fuck, do I have to do this again? Why me? Why me? When you switch it, why not me? But I was still working every single day. So even though I was whinging at myself, I was still doing the work every day. It got to a point where I said, stop whinging and stop making excuses about yourself. And that was kind of a light bulb moment. Like, there's days, like I think last week, and I was under the weather and I worked ridiculous hours. And this, like, I had to come back and do something at 7 p.m. on Sunday here. And that was my whole week. So it finishes at like 7 p.m., and then I said I'll have a sleep in. I woke up at 6 a.m., which is a sleep in for me. It's, what I want people to understand is, like, when you've got that mentality where if I just let go, I'm not going to make myself happy, because in the past I whinged about myself. To myself, mind you.
And being hard on yourself, I think, is what drives you to be better, as long as you're not beating yourself up too much, but also giving yourself the space to feel good about what you are doing. To give you an example of that work ethic, yesterday I got up, went to training at 6 a.m, so I got to get up around 5, train for 2 hours, go home, do all my work, make calls, they got to put in new power stuff at the apartment, sort all that out, back to training for 2 hours, drive down to Canberra for an event at the government, do that event till 9 p.m, drive home from Canberra, and then come here today, back to train this afternoon. Like, when you love what you do, it's easier. But the problem is when you get sick. And when you were talking about how you've been very sick and still having to do all your work, I feel like when you are so into what you're doing, you don't want to take time off, and you feel a lot of pressure to just continue doing that. And that's whenever I get sick, I tend to get sick for months, because I never learn. I'm like, if I get sick, I should take a week and a half, 2 weeks, and just look after myself. I never do. I normally train through until I'm like utterly fucked, and I need to. And then I'm like on the verge of chronic fatigue. Like, when you're getting sick, how hard it is to stop. It's so hard to stop.
It's hard, like, and you mentioned that you love what you do, you're purpose-driven, makes you wake up every morning because you love working on the projects. And I think that's what people miss. Like, you know, there's a lot of the times I see people doing things in life, whether it be a business, it doesn't matter what it is, and they don't actually like it. So how are you going to be able to work days when nothing is working and you're still getting up? And that's the biggest problem. People go, how do you work? I go, I love what I'm working on at the moment. And I go, because I'm so entrenched in the process, it makes it so much easier. But that's what I love about you. But you're doing it way younger than me, so it's bloody impressive, bro. Like I'm
lucky I found diving.
I know.
Very lucky.
But, you know, let's talk about your content. Like, you know, you were just talking about, you know, how many posts you got to do. Sam, not everyone that's in sport at your level is like that. They don't want to be in front of the camera. They don't want people to, you know, write bad comments about them. It's, you know, it's almost this imposter syndrome.
Yep, certainly. And
how did you get around it?
I think you got to break the rules, but not the law.
Yeah.
When I came to training and brought a tripod to training for the first time, again, I was laughed at. Yeah. Laughed at.
Wow.
Everyone thought, oh, who's this clown? Who's he think he is?
Yeah,
who's he think he is to bring that in here?
Yeah.
So, well, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Love it.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
I've worked hard to be here.
Yeah.
And I just think, why not?
Yeah.
As I always said, never care what people think.
Yeah, yeah.
Your reputation is important. Do the right thing, but you can't be influenced by what people think. So even just me bringing my tripod to training to make my videos, there was a small amount of pushback. But then people get used to it.
Yeah.
Then everyone else starts bringing their tripods.
Yeah.
Now there's multiple tripods on pool deck and no one flinches at it.
Wow.
So I think you got to break the rules. And you'd know this from your gyms and so many other things. Like you got to step out of the normal. And that comes with a lot of backlash.
Yeah.
And it can come with a lot of social pressure. I think breaking the social pressure norms is what keeps most people trapped. I think a lot of people want to share content and put more out there, but they're worried about what will he think? What will they think? What will my mum think? What are the other divers going to think if I start making videos explaining something like how a chamois works that they all know? They're going to think, oh, we all know how that works, but some people don't. So I think just being able to have people judge you and not care, I think is just the greatest asset you can have in life. And you need that to get ahead, because otherwise you won't take the risk of looking like a loser. Because I look like a flop all the time, but it's part of it. It's the price.
No, your content looks good.
Oh, too kind.
I was impressed. I was impressed, but not only do you get scrutiny there, right? But when you compete in the Olympics, well, I've seen it, man. Like when the guys don't win gold, their country doesn't win gold, there's a lot of scrutiny there. Like, and you're 23, and this is what I take my hat off to you, because to be able to control that pressure and that outside noise, and what you said, if you play within the rules and you do the right thing, what do you got to worry about?
Couldn't agree more.
You know, and how important is that for a lot of the young people out there that you see a comment and they almost retract and not keep doing what they're doing? Like, what's your advice to those people?
I think you've just got to look internally. Unfortunately, I've had diving. I've had so many tough setbacks in diving where I've gone to my first international comp and thought I'm going to go out there and win a medal, and then just come near dead last and just get utterly shocked. And then you got to rebuild your confidence, go back, and then I won that event a few years later. And the self-confidence you get from growing as a human being and pushing through those adversities, it gives you this toolbox that you're like, no matter what happens, I can deal with it. So when I see a comment, it's not even a level 1 or half a level issue. It's just not an issue.
Yeah.
My life's not on the line. My business isn't on the line. I don't really know who they are. Sometimes I do. And even as a creator, through my podcast, I've seen some of the other creators might comment things that they don't like. Again, I don't care.
I get comments on some of the podcasts. Some of them are fantastic. On the same podcast, this guy's opinions right here, I go, fuck, what's wrong with that? Like, I'm thinking, what's not in a bad way, but I go, what problem has that individual got to make that comment? So
I never feel bad for them.
I feel bad for them because I go, there's something wrong for them to make that comment, you know? Now, content creation, how do you, like, it's not easy to come up with content all the time. How do you prepare for that? Like, what do you do? What's the process?
Yeah, and I've had to...
Sorry.
No.
Sorry, Sam.
Not at all.
This has never happened. I should have taken the cough syrup, Kenny. Keep going. Sam, go.
the content I've always made, I've been making it for 11 years.
Yeah.
So people say, "Oh, you had this overnight success." In fact, can I grab something?
Of course,
I'm gonna show you something. I bring this document.
Please
everywhere.
bring it out.
This is my my work bag that I bring everywhere.
Jeez, you see, this is what I love about podcasts. I'm going to get ideas from Sam to our Sam to help me with my content calendar as well.
Okay, here it is. So I bring this. Is this all right in the shot
of course,
there?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 100%.
I bring this graph everywhere I go to just demonstrate the importance of persistency, not just in diving, but in everything you do. So people think that I blew up overnight or I got lucky with content.
Yeah.
So I show this graph.
Yeah.
Here's me posting for 7 years on YouTube with no success.
Fuck.
7 years. And I was making videos.
I love this.
Making videos relentlessly.
Yeah.
7 years in. If I would have quit after year 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, I never would have had the success I've seen. So
I love that.
on year 7, deep down the rabbit hole, I was able to figure it out.
Wow.
And the content isn't something I just started and took off at. It's something that I, again, like diving, loved and was persistent in.
Yeah.
So I bring that everywhere I go to show people how important the persistency is. And if you never give up, and this is the way I like to think about it, if I never give up, even by sheer luck, I'll figure it out.
100%.
If you're willing to pivot and move, like Tony Robbins talks about this. It's like, have you tried everything? Or have you tried two or three things 10 different times? Like, try different shit. Because if you would have tried everything, you would have figured it out.
Yeah.
So I try to remind myself of that. Whenever I feel hopeless or lost, I say, no, if I had tried everything, I'd be there.
Yeah.
And it gives me hope too, because then it kind of reminds me that, no, I can do this. But building systems.
Yes.
I train full time as a diver. I train anywhere between 3 and 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
It takes probably 60 to 70% of my energy.
Yeah.
And I got to use the rest to try to run the businesses and the content.
Yes.
So I've had to build content systems.
Yeah.
And this is what I try to teach people with the social media these days. Build content pillars where you can batch-shoot content and consistently put out every day. So I'll post 4 times on Instagram a day.
Wow.
10 times across TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's by building these systems.
Yeah. Far out, Sam. We're going to get some of those systems for Sammy.
Yeah, we'll have a chat
For
after
me,
this.
yeah, 100%, mate. Jeez, this is what I like. And to be honest, man, I love doing podcasts because I learn so much from our guests. I can't tell you how much, since we've started, how much this business has grown because of the podcast.
Congratulations. And good on you for taking the leap.
Yeah.
Most people don't have the confidence to put themselves out there.
Fuck, I mean, you know, when we built this room, I asked Kenny, I was like, Kenny goes, how are you going to build the room? I go, mate, I don't know. I go, we're going to just do, like, I'm going to find people to build it. And to be honest, what I love about this room, Sam, Kenny uses it. It's built his brand and so many others, because I think podcasting is extremely undervalued, not by sometimes the views that you get, but by who you become in the process, right? And that's what I love about it. But I want to go into your podcast. Like, what made you decide to do a diving, a podcast, and what kind of, sorry, not a diving podcast, but like going deep into the podcast realm. Like,
Yeah.
I know why I done it, because I actually like having conversations, but what it does for me as well, I don't know if it does this for you, but every time I go into a meeting or I'm having a conversation with my team, I feel like every time I do a podcast with an individual, I actually feel like I'm growing. Internally, I'm growing. I'm developing myself more. I don't know if that's the same for you.
I started diving deep, which is talking to high performers about what they do and how they do it in any field. So it could be you about how to build gyms. It could be the Prime Minister of the country about how do you run the country.
Yeah.
So for me, I know diving's not going to last forever, and I want to build my skill sets outside the pool. And I think communication skills are critically important for success in everything. So it really helps me with my communication skills, but also through my social media and my diving, I've been able to get such a wide range of strong connections with people. And I thought, how can I leverage these connections while using my social media platforms? I thought, I got to start a podcast, because then you can provide mutual value. I get to learn from these people. They get content that I post about them. So it's like a mutual value exchange. and it's a win-win. And I try to do everything in my businesses as a big win-win. So then it'd be like a no-brainer. Why not?
Yeah.
So for me, it was about learning and sharing the content, especially during the election. I did a lot of podcasts with some politicians.
Did you?
And just about, I didn't take any sides.
Yeah.
Very neutral.
But you
But just
understand a
asking
fair bit
questions.
about politics.
I do now.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's great.
I didn't at the time.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
And you got to remain neutral.
You have
Especially
to.
in politics, man, because, it's a tough area. And the only time you're not going to be neutral is when your podcast is about politics.
Yeah, which is not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I totally agree with that. And out of the guests that you've spoken to, who's kind of challenged you the most, or when you walked away go, geez, I learned a lot from that guest?
More than I thought. More people probably really made me, on that drive home, think you can never judge a book by its cover, and you can learn something from everyone. Even talking to ScoMo, we had ScoMo on.
Yeah, what was that like?
And it was great. He was my local member.
Yeah.
And I asked him, when the country was struggling during COVID, like, how do you even make a decision?
Yeah.
Right or wrong, how do you make decisions?
Yeah.
He's like, well, I get in the printout a piece of paper.
Yeah.
He said, use graphs if you got to use graphs, use writing, dot points, whatever you got to use. Give me a piece of paper with all the information we know that's the most up-to-date to today, and then everything I go out and make a decision on is going to be based on that information I have at hand. And even that crisis managed skills. What do you do when shit hits the fan?
Yeah.
Like, well, you just do what you can.
Yeah. Because that affected you, because you had to wait a year.
It did, yeah.
For the 2021 Olympics. So politics really does affect a lot of our lives. When you're, like with me, I try and become a bit of, I get my points about our guests, and I try and become a bit of a conversationalist because I want it to be natural as possible. How do you approach yours? Do you get some points and go, let's see where this conversation goes?
For me, I do the research about the person beforehand, and then I'll write down all the questions I'm interested in. And I find if I've researched enough, then I can go in and just have a conversation and have enough information within my arsenal that I can ask questions and keep it flowing natural.
Yeah.
So I find if it's someone I really know well, I don't need to do as much research. But if it's someone I don't, I tend to do more research. Yeah. So it depends on who the person is and how much I actually know about it. If I know like fuck all about it, I need a lot more research.
Sure, yeah. It's interesting because like when I get a guest, I go, okay, let me know enough about the guest.
Yep.
And let me go in there and see where the conversation takes us. See what else I can learn about the individual. What other questions can I ask? And for me, I kind of have that approach. But everyone's different. Some people have to get extremely prepared for a podcast because, it is hard. It's not just easy to just make conversations and take it to a place where, I always try and think of the end user, the viewer. I go, what's the viewer going to get out of Sam? He's competing in the Olympics. He's competing in Birmingham. He's got his own podcast. He shoots his own content. How can they learn off each of those pillars? What's interesting, and I'll go back to this, is how you didn't do well at school and you speak unbelievably well. Like you speak very professional.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm dyslexic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so learning to read was very difficult. I remember my mum, she was so persistent. I'd come home from an English exam, like a spelling test, and I'd be like, oh, Mum, I did this exam. Guess what? I got out of 50. And she'd, start at 1 and work her way up because I'd normally get like 5.
Yeah,
I was just really bad.
Yeah.
I got better because Mum took me to like speech pathologists. She took me to all different kinds of places to help me learn to read.
Yeah.
And I learnt and I got through it. And now I can run my businesses with no issues. And I have those skills, but they just didn't come naturally. It was really, really difficult.
How do you get around it now? Like, how's the reading process for you now?
It's great.
It's great
just
now.
By not giving in.
Yeah.
And being forced.
Yeah.
Mum made sure I could read properly. So now my reading's great.
Yeah.
I can read books. I write all my emails. I run my businesses, no problem. If ChatGPT was around when I was a kid, I wouldn't have even realized I had a problem.
Yeah.
Because it can just do all that writing for you. My biggest thing now is just spelling. I'm not a great speller.
Yeah.
So if you notice a lot on my social media posts, I tend to make a lot of spelling mistakes. It's just me.
Yeah, look,
It's just me.
I'm all right.
And I'm okay with it.
I wouldn't say I'm the best.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm the best, but you know, auto correction and ChatGPT.
See, mine's sometimes so bad, my spelling's so shit that I can't even get the autocorrect to pick it up.
Far out.
So I got to like do voice to text.
You know, in life we learn from our lessons, you know, and we have to come back from adversity. We constantly get challenged and start to question sometimes why we're doing what we do. You're 23. It seems to me like, and I remember when I was younger, you're almost fearless, you know, a lot more. What do you look at like beyond your career? Like, how long do you think you're going to keep becoming, an Olympic diver, Commonwealth diver? Is it till 30? What's the average age that divers get to?
Late 20s and mid 20s, I think divers peak. So I probably got possibly another 7 years in me.
Yeah.
But I knew diving would never last forever. So since day dot, I've always built things outside the pool and use what you got. Like that's something I've always been good at. I think I learned it from school, from being dyslexic and struggling.
Yeah.
You got to be resourceful.
Yeah.
Use what you have, do the best with what you have.
Yeah.
So when I had nothing, I just used diving.
Yeah.
And then I started a company called Sam Straws, which was a solution to single-use plastics biodegradable wheat stems.
Yeah.
I was able to leverage the diving and the straws to promote it. Use what you got. And then I kept doing that. And then social media come along and I started learning that game. And I use that.
Yeah.
I feel like just by using what you got, you can set yourself up. So when my back was injured, I thought there's a good chance I'm never going to be able to dive again. And I was really hurt by that. But at the same time, I knew I'd be fine.
Yeah.
Because I built so many things outside the pool and I've never put all my eggs in one basket. And the way I try to look at it, without being too diversified and doing too much stuff that gets you distracted, I find if you do so many different things, you just can't fail.
Yeah.
Because you've got too many irons in the fire.
Yeah. That's true as well.
Not like super diversified. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't go start a gym because I know nothing about
Yeah.
it. But diving and then socials and then experimenting within those areas.
Yeah.
I feel like the further you can push down those two fields,
Yeah.
the more protected you are from things going wrong.
100%. And you've almost given yourself the ability to go, you know, I know what I'm going to do after my career is finished. Whereas you see a lot of people in sports,
90%.
90% almost, you know, just fizzle out because I don't know whether it was, you know, during the sports, the pressure got the better of them. They lost their confidence and their ability to find out what they want to do next. From listening to you, you've got this amazing work ethic that you know, and you've spoken about it just now, where you said, if I just keep going, something's going to work because I'm going to find a way.
Certainly.
I think where a lot of sports people or professional people go wrong is they almost retract and get defensive. And when they get defensive, their confidence starts to go south. And when the confidence starts to go in a direction where it's not supposed to go, it becomes so much harder to get yourself back up and go again.
That's why the momentum is just crucially important. Just momentum, even after a terrible competition, and I feel like such a loser. I still got to show up to training the next day and keep going. Because once the momentum stops, and I see it, I've seen so many diving athletes retire and just get completely out of shape.
Yeah.
Just not go off the rails, but just go in a different direction that's not high performance.
And that happens a lot, doesn't it? In yours. And do you know, like, obviously, in Australia, we follow the swimmers a lot more. Are you close to any of those great swimmers that represent our country that aren't there anymore or haven't gone to that next level in whether it be business? Like Ian Thorpe, for example, he's still got a massive name, but you've seen the ups and downs there. Is that more prevalent in swimming where there's a much bigger pool of athletes?
It's probably just prevalent across the board for all athletes, and especially Olympic athletes, because we don't make much money. Like you're playing the NRL, the AFL, cricket, sometimes soccer, you get paid a salary. Where with Olympic sports, you don't get paid that.
What is it, just sponsorships?
Especially diving. if I didn't have social media, I wouldn't be able to support myself.
Wow.
So for me to be able to dive and make an income, I've had to become not just one of the best divers in the country. I've also had to become one of the best content creators in the country to support that.
Yeah.
So I've had to learn 2 skills
Yeah.
just to support what I do. So I think it's way harder up front because you got to do that grunt work, and you always feel like you're behind the 8 ball, especially when you see other people who are in similar high position roles making a lot more.
Yeah.
But you had to grind away. You don't have a choice. You got to find a way.
Choice.
But I think that sets you up long term, because now you've done the grunt work. Now you have things outside diving you had to build.
Yeah.
If that's taken away, you're okay. But I think if you don't have to build them, why would you? So nearly like a back foot that eventually
100%.
puts you on the front foot.
You know, like in life, you know, there's always people in your family that support you a lot, right? I was kind of lucky, even in business, you know, had kind of great family support, especially like, you know, like in business, there's days where you go, fuck, man, this is just not going good. It's not going good. Who in your family has been that figure? Was it your mum, your dad, your siblings?
Very fortunate. I got a good family. I got 4 siblings, mum and dad. Mum was a PE teacher, then a stay-at-home mum, and dad's a builder. So he's tough, rugged, tattered.
Yeah.
Like if you saw my dad, you'd probably think I'm related, but he's tough.
Yeah.
He was tough on me as a kid too. But he's successful and he's a kind guy, and he's very wise. Even the social media stuff, I didn't think he would understand. But he understands all the business principles that can go into it. So when I talk to him about it, he's always got good advice, and he always pushes me to go further than what I'm comfortable. So I feel like I'm pushing pretty far. Then he'll call me up and say, "Oh, why aren't you doing this? Have you done that? Have you done this?" I'm like, "Oh, well," you know, like.
Yeah.
So I think dad probably pushes me to be better.
Yeah.
But both my parents have always been very proud of me anyway. And I think that's important too. I think if you can have that unconditional love from your family, you also realize how much have I really got to lose.
Yeah.
And that's the way I try to think about everything. If no one's died, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You need that backbone, right? Whether it be your coaches, like, and how's in you know, being an Olympic diver, how important is your team, your coaches, and the people that you're around? How much of an impact does that make?
That's important. And it's a relationship that needs to be managed and fostered. But when you have a good relationship with your coach, it makes training a lot easier, because you feel like you're working on something together, you're pushing through the hard times together, but more importantly, you're celebrating the good times together. Like we're working towards some good comps at the moment, and I'm working really well with my coach. His name's Howell, and you know, we're like, all right, we got these comps coming up. I'm excited for those. Let's go out there, let's do well. And that's fun. So it's good for the hard times, but most importantly, it's good to have someone to celebrate the success, celebrate the good times, and just know that you do it together. And then try to share all that with the team. And that's why I love making videos too, to be able to promote not just the work that we're doing, but the great work that my coaches do and everyone else does at the Institute as well. So that team's so important.
Have you always had that team, or has that team changed? Because I know coaches come and go as well.
They do. I've cycled through, like my first elite diving coach ever was a coach named Vaninka Arlo, and she was very tough on me as a kid, but very kind and caring as well. And she built me into the athlete I was today. She taught me everything from a back dive, which is a basic dive, to like a back 3.5, which is one of the most technical dives in diving. She taught me everything for that. She took me from that 13-year-old kid that was naughty to making the Australian team. Wow. So she was a massive influence in my life. And I've been fortunate too that all the diving coaches are good people. Like they care about the environment. I remember one day, Vaninka in particular, I rolled my ankle at training, and I went to get a bag of ice, and she said, make sure you just grab 1 bag. I was like, oh, why? Like I can get 2. And then she said, no, just it's bad for the environment. This was like 10 years ago. 10 years ago. She was like, just grab 1 bag, use that. So the coaches have always been really good people. So I've felt grateful that I've had great life mentors like that. But then she left. And then I had a guy named Tomo, and he took me from being on the Australian team to being an Olympic diver. Wow. And he played a really good part in my career.
What was the difference?
Just more time. I think I would have gotten there with Vaninka too. And she was great.
Was he harder on you?
She left because she wanted to go somewhere else.
Okay.
He was very fair, but very honest too. For example, when I was learning one of the hardest dives in the world, we did all the build-ups, we did all the training, and then in diving, there's no other way to find out if it's going to work unless you just send it. Like, you just got to give it a go, see what happens. It's high risk. You're up on the 10-meter. You're going to hit the water at 60 k's an hour, straight on your back. Depends how you approach the dives.
An hour.
And it feels like concrete. I remember I went up to Tomo, my coach, and I said, Tomo, like, am I gonna make it? Because it's 4.5 flips. Am I gonna make it? And he goes, I don't know. I've never coached one, but we're about to find out.
Far out.
And I think just that honesty too kind of fires you up.
Yeah. Wow. So 60 k's an hour. So that's impressive, but more importantly, you have to have some sort of mindset where you're almost fearless. So you know, you obviously like sports that, you know, hey, if I'm not standing on the edge, I'm taking up too much space. Has that always been with you? Like, you know, putting yourself in, you know, skydiving, you know, things that people wouldn't,
I guess,
just go, I'm going to go do it.
I think you're just so highly motivated to a point where I'll literally stay on the end of the platform when I'm learning this dive, and you have this sense, because you've got so much fear that you could die. Yeah. You can't have this sense. And especially when you're really nervous for one of these dives and you don't know what's going to happen. And it's not a choice. The way out is to get it done. Like, it's not even a thought about if I'm going to go down the stairs. Not once have I ever turned down and walked down those stairs. Yes, people do. Not many.
Not many.
But I've never walked down and turned around and walked down those stairs. You do the dive. The way out is the way down. You do it. You do it. You do it. Even if you don't think you're going to make it, you do it. So when I was a kid, I just had this mindset that
keep going.
I would rather go out there and die than not do it. Than not do it. And that's how it feels. And Howie Garside, who's a boxer and good friend of mine, he talks about when he's about to go into the ring and fight someone, it feels like he's about to die. Yeah. And he's going to get through that. And that's what it's like. I would say that's the feeling I have when I'm learning new dive off 10 meter. Now I'm a bit older. I get way better at managing those fears. Yeah. So what was a 10 out of 10 scary when I was 15 might be a 2 or 3 now. And you get skills to manage it. So it might be easy for me today, but when I learnt those, it was like running over a trench. Yeah. But you're going to do it.
Now, that's incredible, because I don't think I could do that. I could do a lot, but I'm not going to do that. That's why I take my hat off.
And then you got to do it day in and day out. So
I know.
So once you learn
that builds like resilience, calluses, mindset. So repetition, you know, it starts to almost remove part of the fear, but not all of it.
And even expanding that part of your brain, like, right, this thing I'm terrified of, I need to go in and do it day in and day out for the foreseeable future. Yeah. How can I make this thing that terrifies the shit out of me more sustainable? Yeah. And how do I reduce the fear? Not reduce the numbers, but reduce the fear. The fear, So finding ways to deal with that. And that's something I've been able to pull to so many other areas of my life. And that's why I think the business side and the content side, like when you say, am I concerned about a mean comment? No.
Yeah. Neither am I. That's why I asked, because I think it's important. Otherwise, you're not going to really put out content. Now, you also, like I've seen, you know, you've been on Channel 7. You've done, you know, different commentary for Channel 7. And is that something that you're going to move into more as your career evolves, being on one of the main channel stations?
Yeah, I did the Olympics with Channel 9 as well, and recently I was down in Newcastle doing the NOLW with 9, and I love working with Channel 9. They're good fun. And
I say Channel 7.
Channel 7 I've done work with too.
I think I've seen Channel 7.
Channel 7 I've done both.
But Channel 9.
Because Channel 7 had the Olympic Games before 9. Yeah. So I did a lot with 7, and now 9 have the Olympics, and I've done a lot more with 9. Yeah. So you do work with all of them. I've been fortunate enough to be on many shows and all kinds of things.
Because what's that process like? Because obviously when you do your own content, you can, you know, if it's not a good video, you can start again. But when you're on Channel 9, do you get one shot?
You get one shot and it's live. And for example, during the Olympic Games, I think we did over 24 hours of live television. Yeah, 24 hours live. Jeez. So the first thing I think is, I hope I don't say anything I shouldn't by accident. Yeah. You know, because you never know. But even just the way that happened, it was amazing. I missed out in the Olympics. in Paris, which
Yeah.
was devastating. I secured the Olympic spot for the country,
Yeah.
and then we had a national event, and I got third, and top two go. I just missed out.
Wow.
It's the way it goes.
What was that like? I mean, you know, you make it your first one at 19. You missed the second one. What was that like? How did you go back to the drawing board and come back from that?
What do you do? It's hard. You try to find the joy in what you're doing again. And you look for the next opportunity.
Because you know it's 4 years again.
And you can't look at the next 4 years and say, oh, I've missed this one, I'm going to focus on the next 4 years. What I do is I reshuffle my goals. I come up with some goals that are a lot shorter term, and I keep my head down and think about tomorrow, the next day, the day after that, one day at a time, because I can look down and say I can get through tomorrow. It's tough to look back up and say the next Olympics isn't for 4 years. How am I going to do that? So for me, it was readjusting my goals, setting new goals, and trying to get back on the bandwagon pretty quick. And again, use what you have. Okay, I missed the Olympics. Channel 9 called me. We do this. Well, to be honest, a part of me wanted to say, no, I'm going to run away to the Antarctic and forget the Olympics exist. You know, but you got to lean in and take the opportunities. So I took the gig and had to commentate all the people that beat me as well. I was nice to them too, by the way. They did well. They did well. But they did better than me. That's what
2028 is the next one.
Yeah, LA.
But
also having things outside diving. Like if diving was everything and I'd missed it, it would have been harder. But because I'd set myself up with so many things outside the pool, I could shift my focus and still be successful somewhere else.
You knew how to pivot to where it was necessary for your career. Now, the road to 2028, LA. Los Angeles is you know, they've had the Olympics there before. How important is it? Like, how's your focus right now for the road to 2028?
I haven't even thought about it. Like what I'm thinking about is training today, training tomorrow, being the best diver I can be, and trying to enjoy the process and win every day. I haven't thought about the Olympics yet. Again, it's just too far. It's too far. And they took diving out of the Commonwealth Games, which is also hard.
They took diving out of the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah, so what happened?
The next one here in Brisbane.
Well, so the Olympics will be in Brisbane, but what happened? They took diving out of the Commonwealth Games, and what happened? Melbourne was meant to hold the Commonwealth Games. And they had some idea to like do it raw and spend like billions of dollars and putting it all over the place, which I think was a bad idea anyway. Like keep it central. Use venues you have. Don't build anything new. Put people in student accommodation. Like there's a way they can do it efficiently. But they had this like grand idea of doing it out raw where they had to build all this extra stuff. So they said it's too expensive. We're not paying for it, which maybe onto their plan, fair enough. So Glasgow said, we'll pick it up. Glasgow said, we're going to pick it up. We're going to cut it in half to save half the money. We're going to keep it within a 10K radius. And now they've changed the realm of how the Commonwealth Games works. And the hosting country gets to pick what sports compete. Compulsory is athletics and swimming. So those sports are compulsory. Every other sport they get to pick. And because there wasn't a diving pool within a 10K radius, they axed diving for this Commonwealth Games. So that was like a secondary slap in the face. But it's good that the Commonwealth Games is going ahead anyway. But I didn't even know you could accept the Commonwealth Games and then just say, hey, we're not doing it. So even throwing that uncertainty in there, I've never seen.
I've heard that sometimes countries will say, you know, it's not going to help our economy, it's going to cost too much, it's going to throw out the budget. But I've never like seen it actually come to, you know, fruition where it has happened.
And I'm sure people waste too much money on an Olympic Games or Commonwealth Games. So I don't think it's saying you got to spend that much money. I think it could be done way more efficiently.
Of course,
just do it efficiently. Like don't build new stadiums. Use existing stadiums.
100%. 100%. And I think that comes down to the planning. I think what's interesting is that the governing body that puts the pressure on, you know, the country or the state has to create this standard, or is it the country itself trying to create a standard to compete or outdo other countries?
I think it's a combination of you want your country to look good in front of the world, so you want to do a good job. And then you can get unpractical with ideas that are more the ideas that sound good to everyone in a room that would say we like that would help, but they're not practical.
Yeah.
And I think you got to mix this sounds good with this is practical, and put those together to have it work. Like I heard Gold Coast and Australia. The thing makes me sad. Australia's done the best job. We got the best name in the world for having the best Olympics ever in 2000. Yeah. That's known as the best Olympic Games of all time. Yeah. Commonwealth Games 2018 in Gold Coast is known for like amongst the athletes, the funnest Commonwealth Games in the world. To see Melbourne have that opportunity and ruin it, I'm surprised that Australia did that. But
and Melbourne's known as the capital of sports of Australia, really.
Yeah. So I was surprised. I was surprised, but they could have done it more efficiently. Yeah. Like if their plan was going to blow out the budget and lose a lot of money for different people, I agree. We don't want to. We want it to be a win-win for everyone. Yeah. But could we have had a smarter idea to utilize existing venues and put people in student accommodation? Maybe.
100%. I mean, was it the Paris Olympics where they weren't happy with the accommodation? Like it was that bad?
Oh, I heard a lot of complaints about Rio.
Yeah, I know.
I heard a lot of interesting things about Rio. Tokyo was good. Like we had the cardboard beds. I didn't hear many complaints about Paris. I heard they did a good job. But even the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, they put us in student accommodation at I think the Birmingham University or something. Yeah. It was fine. Yeah, it was fine. Like
you're not gonna get it perfect.
No, and like
you're not gonna get it perfect.
A bedroom, fine. Like we don't care.
Yeah,
we've had worse.
Yeah, you've had worse. So, you know, the biggest takeaways that I've taken from you, mate, it doesn't look like much bothers you. Setbacks, failures, not making the Olympic team, putting yourself out there on social media, 7 years to get yourself to a place on YouTube where you could see results. Unbelievable. Like your mindset, Sam, is not normal. I was asking you questions there. I'm thinking he's got a breakdown somewhere. Didn't fucking break, mate. No flinching. There's nothing.
You can try. You can keep them coming. I don't mind.
But what's impressive is that nothing was easy for you. Like this is what I want people to understand. I'm taking a lot away from this because I'm asking you questions of setbacks, and there was a lot of setbacks, injuries. You've had it all. But the way you're talking to me, it was like, mate, it's like water off a duck's back, which is super impressive because, you know, to push yourself to get to the pinnacle and make the Olympics and get the setback of just missing out and going to the Paris Olympics and where you can commentate and then going, you know, I'm going for the 2028 in LA. I'm not thinking about it too far ahead. I'm just, the process is this, and this is what I got to do. You know, I take my hat off to you, man, because it's not, and you're 23 years old. Like the professionalism and the way you've answered the questions was like, Mets, nothing bothers me.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But you've built that system. That's what I want people to understand. Like, and if you don't build this internal system and this process, well, you can expect for it to affect you a lot more.
And I think when you build it, you have those skills, and you'd know when something goes wrong in your business. You have this voice inside that says, I can do it. Like I've built this. Yeah. I know how to deal with this, and if I don't know, I'll figure it out. But we also have the tendency to look at people in your position. Say we look at you, you're like, oh, you own this amazing gym, or maybe he can do it, but I can't. It's like, why not? Why not me?
100%. I generally believe like everything's possible for everyone. But they have to have the mindset you just said, man. Like it was like, it's possible, and doesn't matter what setbacks you know life puts in front of me, whether it's my injuries, whether it's doing this new, somersault where there's 4 flips and I'm going at 60 k's an hour. I've never done it. My coach has never helped anyone do it, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna walk back down those stairs.
I'd rather die.
I love that. Just that perspective of. And that process that you go through, because it's something that everyone needs to hear. Everyone, retreats as soon as something's negative or something's not working, and mate, I just want to thank you for coming, because you were like Superman when I was answering those questions. I was like the bullets were bouncing off you. I'm asking these questions to get some emotion.
I appreciate your questions. They're very insightful. So you bring that out of me. So you're a great interviewer.
No, man. I just wanted to learn more about the mindset of an individual that made the Olympics at 19, because that to me is crazy, and I love it. And now I understand more about you, because he had to have that mindset to make it. There was no other mindset that could get him there. But more importantly, is he's using the Olympics as a platform. He's building this business here, and he's not quitting on this business. And he's looking at how many different, verticals of businesses, and one's going to win. That's unbelievable.
That's fun, yeah. When you just keep persisting, at least something will work. But you've also got to pivot and look for opportunities. Like, I even see content creators now. They do something that works. It works for a year, 2 years. It changes. They don't pivot.
Yeah.
You got to move. You got to move. You got to see what's working and pivot. And maybe that means you're behind the 8 ball for a few months.
Yeah.
Maybe that means you got to change. You got to suck at something again.
Yeah.
I feel like you've just got to be so open to being behind and feeling like a bit of a loser. You don't know what's going on to get ahead. That's what it takes. Like, you got to keep pivoting, keep moving. Even my Commonwealth Games medal, if I just done what I'd always done, I wouldn't have gotten the medal.
Yeah.
I went to the Olympics for 10 meter.
Yeah.
And they changed the rules of how they're going to pick the Commonwealth Games team. They said, we're going to pick it on synchro. I thought, okay, I don't have a synchro partner. And I think I can do 3 meter. I'm a good 3 meter diver. And there's a big opportunity there because there's no synchro pairing yet. So I made the pivot from 10 meter down to 3 meter. Yeah. I remember I mentioned to my coach, I want to dive with a particular diver named Shishing, great guy, Australian champion, world champion. And I said, I want to dive with Shishing. And my coach laughed at the time. He thought it was funny. I was like, no, I'm not joking. Because 10 meter and 3 meter are different events. Yeah. So they laughed at me. But I thought, no, this is an opportunity. I can do this. Big opportunity. So I was just persistent. And I became good friends with Shishing, and we ended up diving together. Although our first competition together, I tried too hard and I failed the dive.
Wow.
I thought, this is my chance. We got an opportunity to prove ourselves. It was the last event before the Commonwealth Games trials, and I thought, I've got to put in the big dive, just show everyone how good I am, that I can dive synchro with him. And I failed the dive, fell off the board, zeros. And I thought, such a loser. I tried to do this thing. Everyone told me not to, and it didn't work. Yeah. And then you just didn't have a chance. I've got to keep fighting. So I thought, all right, well, Commonwealth Games trial, I've got to fight to dive there. Yeah. Keep fighting, get back on the horse. So nervous that would happen again. Yeah. So nervous. But you just visualize, and then you go back to training, you do hundreds of hurdles. Hundreds. Yeah. Don't fuck it up again. Yeah, hundreds. And then we went to that trial, and we got on the team. We got on the team. And I thought, that's amazing. But then you change again. All right, now I want to win a medal.
Yeah.
And you just keep going. But that wouldn't have happened if I didn't see the opportunity and pivot. So not just like, you got to work hard, but you got to be smart.
With one of the best divers in Australia, and everyone's going, mate, you're out of your mind.
Because it's a different event, yes.
But the people that are telling you out of your mind are the people that are in your field.
Oh, yeah. So that takes... It didn't, but they should take more of a hit. But it didn't.
No,
I just thought...
It should take a lot. That's why I'm impressed, man.
That was my coach at the time. Good guy too. Loved him. But I think he also just understood the significance of what I was asking.
He didn't see what was in here.
No, I just knew I could do it.
He could see what you visually had and what he thought you got, but he didn't see what was on the inside.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it makes a difference. So hard work, but also pivoting, moving. Yeah. And you'd know that from your businesses too. When things change, you got to move.
Yeah, you have to. But like when I leave this podcast, my mindset's already changed. Nothing's going to affect me ever again. Looking ahead, you have the skill set of an entrepreneur, commentator. Like, there's so many things I could foresee. You got an impregnable mindset. Like, I haven't seen that yet. Like, it's just impregnable. But what does the future look like? And you don't have to say you know what it is, because mate, I didn't know until I was like in around now. Like, I could see things clearer now, and that's like 27 years in the business.
And it's exciting when you have a quite cleared out future, you know what you're working towards, but sometimes you don't have that. I know for me, for diving, I am working towards the LA Olympics, even though I'm just thinking one step at a time, but my businesses. So I got my social media business, I create content, promote products. That's one stream of income. But I thought, okay, how could I 10x, 100x the revenue? Well, I can't 10x or 100x myself, although I try in terms of making better content, making more value, be able to create more value to the marketplace so you can make more of an income there. But I thought one way is I've built these platforms. I know what works. I have the team to shoot it. I got the team to edit. I know how to write and produce these videos. I thought I want to help CEOs and other companies do that for them. Wow. So not me front facing, not me in front of the camera, running the operation of producing content for CEOs and big companies, because a lot of companies are left behind. And with systems, you can get in the front foot, and it's not too late. But a lot of people are trying to get into the content space and having those skills already. What's next for me is I'm building this business of helping CEOs and companies kill it on social media. Why us? Well, my sister studies social media marketing and she helps with a lot of my stuff. And having a degree is good, but having proof is better. Yeah. We've done it. Yeah. So that's something that excites me at the moment because I want to help provide value, and I just love the game.
And mate, that's what I love about it, because I could, like the way you're saying it too, okay, this guy's going to figure it out for the client and he'll keep pushing until it gets done.
And the team's the same. You guys surround yourself with good people.
Yeah, man. It makes a big difference. You like when you have a good team, each team member can each make one another grow. And what that does is increases the standard and increases the performance of the team. But if you have great people and you empower them and then you put better people around them, they can probably do so much more work that they probably thought otherwise, so that's fantastic, man. Well, Sam, thank you, man.
No, thanks for having me on.
I feel like Superman leaving here, not because I can dive, but I believe maybe one day I can do some sort of dive off a platform.
Maybe we should bring you in.
No, I think I have to. Kenny would love to video that.
Yeah?
See me shitting myself wanting to go back down the stairs and say, remember what Sam said?
Never go down the stairs.
Is if you jump off the board or the platform.
That's it.
No,
That's
thanks,
it. No, thanks for having me. And your gym
Appreciate
here is
it.
beautiful yourself. It's awesome, mate.
No, thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.